Hello and welcome to the Office of the State Engineer's tutorials on how to complete our forms. This tutorial is to clarify what is needed for you to file a change of ownership form for a surface water right, which include water rights from rivers, ditches, and springs. These water rights may be used for public water supply, municipal, irrigation, industrial, commercial, livestock, or other purposes. In order for you to begin a transfer, you will need to do some research, both on the title of the land and the water right files. All water rights are governed by state statute. Statute 72-1-2.1 NMSA 1978 states, in the event of any changes of ownerships of a water right, whether by sale, gift, or any other type of conveyance, affecting the title to the water right which has been permitted or licensed by the state engineer, has been declared with the state engineer, or has been adjudicated, or is evidenced by a subfile order, partial final decree, or any other court order, the new owner of the water right shall file a change of ownership form with the state engineer. The form shall include all information conforming with water rights of record filed with the state engineer and shall be accompanied by the copy of the warranty deed or other instrument of conveyance. The new owner shall record a copy of the change of ownership filed with the state engineer with the county clerk in which the water right will be located. The filing shall be made public notice of the existence and the content of the instrument so recorded from the time of the recording with the county clerk. The water right that you have purchased may have been declared by the original owner that the water right was used beneficially prior to the jurisdiction of the state engineer. It may have been permitted, licensed, adjudicated, or not recorded at all. So your first step is to find out the water right file number. You can ask the seller, a neighbor, or mayordomo the name of your ditch. If you have the name of the ditch, it helps facilitate the research in your local district water rights office. There may be maps of irrigated lands in the office that you can refer to if you know the name of the ditch. A topo map will help orient you as to the name of the river that the ditch or the acequia gets its water from. All water right files are based upon the ditch or acequia name. It is also helpful for you to know the name of the river that serves your ditch. If your land has been adjudicated, your irrigated land can be described by the Public Land Surveying System, which is section, township, and range, by a hydrographic survey map and tract number, or by an irrigation district map and tract. This tutorial will show you how to search the database online for the name of the person that you bought the property from, but if you do not find it there, you may need to make a trip to your local district office to research the paper files. You may also need to go to the county clerk and research back further into the chain of title. We must then determine how much of the deeded land is irrigated acreage. Usually not all of the deeded land is irrigated, and many deeds do not disclose the number of irrigated acres that come along with a transfer. We will help you to the best of our ability, but we are not surveyors. And if there is a conflict in the historical record, it can take time and money to hire a surveyor to resolve the matter. The OSC water right files reflect every transaction that has occurred since the New Mexico Territory Engineer was created in 1907. Due to the magnitude of paperwork filed over 100 years, some files have more water rights transferred on paper than irrigated land is available. When this happens, we encourage the affected parties to jointly perform a survey, but sometimes it takes a court action to clear things up. Historically, the Office of the State Engineer may have accepted paperwork for filing, but it may not have been checked for validity or accuracy. Today, the Waters database helps us account for transfers of ownership recorded with the state engineer, but also shines a light on those files with transfers that exceed the water rights that are available. We make the data from our database accessible from both NMWRS, which is the New Mexico Water Rights Reporting System, and also from the OSC Pod Location Map, which is an online mapping application. The deed usually describes the metes and bounds of the property that has been transferred, which is referred to as the deeded acreage, but normally does not disclose how much land has an irrigation water right appurtenant or fixed to the ground. Sometimes a deed will have information from the adjudication's hydrographic survey maps. You may have to research surveys, hydrographic survey maps, deeds, water rights transfers that have occurred historically and look for permits that may have moved those water rights elsewhere. If you acquire a portion of a larger tract, you will need to make the water right determination to the best of your ability, and we will check it using in-house mapping tools available. If there are discrepancies, you may need to hire a surveyor to determine the proper split amount. This sometimes takes numerous attempts to find records and visits to the county clerk in which the water rights are recorded. First, you will need to find the OSE file number. We will start by searching the name, and then I'll show you how to search by location. Our webpage is ose.state.nm.us. At the top of the page, there will be a link to access a water rights lookup. You may research your information by searching for the name of the person that you purchased the property from. Click on Step 5 to enter into the New Mexico Water Rights Reporting System. Here on the left-hand side, you will see all of the reports that are available to run. We will begin by searching the name under the Water Rights Summary. It defaults automatically to the water right file number. You may search that if you already know that information. If not, click on the tab for owner name. If you're searching a business name, you will search in the last name field. Entering in an asterisk as a wildcard will increase the chances of success on your search. I'm going to search Rio Hondo Land and Cattle, but I'm not sure if they spelled out the name and or if they put in a symbol, so I will just put in an asterisk. As you can see, they hold a lot of water rights in that name. So I'm going to look for some of the surface water rights. All of these appear to be wells as they have a basin number, as opposed to SD or SP, which reflect a surface number. So there are a number of surface water rights, and I'm not sure exactly which one it is. So now I will go back to the OSE webpage, and I'll go back to the screen where I access the water right reporting system. Scroll down to the bottom, and I'll click on the map that shows the OSE pod location map. Again, I'll look at the deed, and I'll look for some location information. Another way to look at the surface water right is to research the domestic or the livestock well, if there's one on the property, because often they are transferred together. So the way that I will access this is by looking for coordinates that are located on the deed. I'm going to change my input of spatial reference to reflect the public land surveying system, and I will set that to PLSS. And so I'm going to search this from the deed, and I'll update the PLSS location, and it will zoom into the area of my interest. And so it's clear that all the irrigated tracts are above this location, and it appears there is SD0840 is located right here, and I can see the name of the ditch right here is Klein Ditch. I'm fairly sure that this is the area of interest. So I will come back to my list, and I'll find 840 SD0840. There are a number of tracts, and these are likely the tracts that I'm going to want to transfer. So this one here is 5.5 acres, and it is also described on the hydrographic survey map. It's got a subfile number, which is located here at the top. And we would then know to look at the Rio Hondo adjudication, and then we can look up that subfile information. So now that we have the file number, we will go back to the web page, and we will access the forms and applications. Here we will go to Surface Water Filing Forms and Fees, and at the top of the screen we'll see the form WR02 is for a change of ownership other than a 7212-1, which is a domestic right. So we'll open up that form, and we already know that the owner file of record is SD0840-1. The owner's of record's name is Rio Hondo Land and Cattle. If I know the phone number, I will put the phone number here. The Subfile number was HO-1-A, and the cause number we don't have at this time, but we can get that from the court order. I will put my name here as I am the purchaser, the buyer. If there are two people listed on the deed, both names will go in separate name fields. If there are more than two owners, you will check this box here and you will attach a separate sheet with all the additional owners. Please complete all of the mailing address, telephone number, and email. Submit warranty deeds that have been properly recorded with the county clerk's office. In box 3, we're going to check off the purpose of use as it's listed in the OSC record. In this OSC record, this is listed as an irrigation right at the top of the screen. So that is what we would put on the form. We would check off irrigation here, as that is the diversion amount is also found on the summary screen here, and it's 19.25. It does not have the consumptive use provided for me, so the staff in the office may have to help you complete that section. Here we would list the known points of diversion, and we found out it was the Klein Ditch. Pod number is 0840. You can put in the X and the Y or the section, township, and range of the point of diversion, and here you would put the name of the ditch. And the river course is the Rio Hondo. The acreage is 5.5, and here you can legally describe the property either using the public land surveying system or hydrographic survey map, or you can list it by an irrigation or conservation district map, or if it's located in a subdivision, you can list the subdivision block, lot, and unit number here. If you have borders to your section that you would want to describe your irrigated lands, those are down here at the bottom. These are read from the smaller quarters. This is southwest of the northeast of section 23, township 11 south, range 18 east. Take that information onto your form, and this is in section 23, 11 south, 18 east. And it's 5.5 acres, and the priority date shows here is December 31st of 1870. In box 4, you can put in any common landmarks that you might want to list in there. Here you would list the county in which the water right is located. Here you would list the name of the landowner if the lands that you are irrigating are not owned by you. And here you would check off yes or no if there are other sources of water for the land. And if yes, you need to put the OSE file number for that other source of water. In box 6, you can list any additional statements or explanations regarding your water right, and if these lands are federal or state lands, you must also provide a copy of the lease allowing you to irrigate on those lands. Continuing on to page 3, in box 7, if the water right has been severed from the land and is conveyed as a separate right, the owner of record that you purchased the property from must sign this form along with you as the buyer. And then as the buyer, you will sign the acknowledgement form for individual if you are an individual, but if you're any other type of entity, you will sign in the acknowledgement form for corporation, and both of these signatures must take place in front of a notary public. This form must be submitted in triplicate to allow one original form for the shelf, one to be returned to you, the filer, as you are required to file it back with the county clerk's office, and a third copy which we keep and send to imaging and then on to state archives. You may submit these to the appropriate district office with the filing fee of $5 per transfer. If you are unsure which district office that you must file with, please check the website, and also there's a map available to show you how to get to that location. And that concludes our tutorial on filing a change of ownership for a surface water right. Thank you for sticking around, and I hope to see you on the next tutorial.